welcome to the Late Awakening.
What up? What up?
Hey, Johnny boy. So, what's going on today, buddy?
Well, first off, we should start by saying you nearly died. She nearly died.
I almost forgot all about it.
Yeah. That's the top news in the house.
Yeah, I was. We were out in the pool and in our.
What are those floats?
Our floaties.
Those are like tube floats, right? They call them.
Yeah, I guess.
Not like the flat ones.
No, it was like a chair floaty.
And we were just floating around like two Fruit Loops.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden I noticed this bee next to me.
Which you never jump.
I
you
never.
Love bees. I'm terrified.
You're the one that freaks out. And I don't usually, but this one was really close to me. It was like real close to the raft. And I was trying to swish him away, and instead he like backwashed into my float, like right near my butt, and I freaked out. I had my phone in my hand.
Your phone and your drink.
And my drink. And I freaked out, and I was in the deep end.
The deep end.
Which right. I avoid because
You almost died there the last time when a duck tried to drown you.
Yeah, well, I'm not a strong swimmer. I didn't learn how to swim until I was 30 years old. When I was teaching my son.
As much as you love the water.
Yeah.
And me, I'm in and out, but I'm a fucking fish.
Well, I know, but it's because my Aunt Connie tried to drown me when I was 5. It's a long thing. Anyway, so I flip over backwards. It had to be a scene to see, man. And I'm drowning.
She's drowning.
I'm like, the water's like 2 feet over my head.
You give your account, and then I'm going to explain my side.
Yeah, you better. I'm literally drowning. My lungs are filling with water. I'm trying to hang on to my phone. And when I finally come up, I swear I felt like I went all the way to the bottom.
You said, I'm drowning!
I come up to the top, and the float's still over me, so I had to knock that out of the way. I still got my phone in my hand.
And I'm watching
trying to get to the edge.
What
like
the
this
hell is she doing?
Big, wild scene. And he's just fucking sitting there watching me. I'm drowning. And he's like, what?
Well,
how did you miss all that? You was facing.
No, I saw everything.
Oh, this is bullshit. No. He watched me. He was waiting for me to die.
See, now I'm mad. You keep saying that. It's not true. You know me.
Now you know how the Democrats felt Saturday.
You know me.
I survived. I came up. I pumped my fist.
Well, you saying it was?
I slammed my phone down on the edge.
You trying to say there was a second B? No, but you see, here's my defense. Because
it's indefensible.
First of all, you know me.
Watch me drown.
I don't panic. I don't panic and
please. You're the one that panics.
No, I don't.
I'm the one that doesn't panic.
Well, you
today.
Sure we're panicking. Well, here's my defense is we're both floating. You're floating, and then I kind of hear something.
You were facing me, motherfucker.
You said, "It's a bee. It's a bee," and then I just remember the float flipping over and landed on top of your head.
Yeah,
and that's when you went straight down.
Like 30 seconds.
And you were holding your phone and the drink the whole time underwater.
Yes,
that's amazing. But here's my thing was, I'm trying to hear me out. I saw it happen, but to me it just was like, because when I'm 6'2", so if I'm in the float and I just decide to flip off, like I just flip off, but I could touch the ground, even in the deep end. So in my mind, I thought you were just flipping off, and you're like, "Oh, a bee," and it was fine. But I keep forgetting that you sink.
Thank you.
Well, I'm saying that you
I'm very buoyant. I just happened to go under with the float on top of me,
and it went on top of you. And like I said, it didn't register as it was. It was like, "Oh, a bee." But it didn't register like you were in danger to me because we're always in the pool, and I flip off all the time. But it's like, I didn't realize that you went underwater and took some water in because you spit. You said I'm drowning, and you spit water out.
Yeah.
And but like I said, I mean, I don't. It's weird. It wasn't that I don't care. I don't want you to
own in this world,
die
I guess.
in the pool. But just it didn't register that you were. It's just almost like, oh, a bee, get off of me, and then you would be fine.
Ginger
but I didn't
was
know.
in the house, and she reacted more than you did.
Ginger saved your life the last time, right?
I know.
With the duck.
Uh-huh.
We have a pet duck that attacked Joe in the deep end, and I was inside. This was like a year and a half. No, this was when we first got him.
Yeah.
For some reason, he just likes to attack sometimes when you're in the pool. And I didn't know what was going on, but the dog was barking. When I opened the yard door, I saw Joanne with the duck in a headlock.
I dragged that duck out.
Because
I was in the deep
you
end.
Couldn't fight. You couldn't fight him off.
And he just attacked me, like trying to kill me. It was wild. And I grabbed him by the neck, and I somehow got myself over to the edge of the pool, and I slammed him down on the patio.
He's our pet.
He's fine. He's vicious. He was fine.
But he's a good duck, too. He guards the yard.
He sure does.
But
yeah, and Johnny comes out, and I'm like, help me.
I did help you.
I had to, to see that situation.
So let me get this straight. So far, a duck almost killed you, and now a bee.
Oh, I've had many other brushes.
Well, like I said, I feel horrible about it because it didn't register. It just registered to me like, oh my God, a bee, and you just jumped out of the raft, the tube, and then you were just going to be like, oh my God, a bee, but I didn't realize that I forgot you in the deep end. That's like, what, 6 foot deep, and you're like 5?
It's more than 6 feet.
More than 6. Well, I'm 6'2", and I could feel the ground on my tippy toes.
I'm very short. What can I say?
So I just didn't realize that you were in that much danger.
Yeah.
And then we saved the bee that almost killed Joanne. See, we were good people.
I don't like to kill things. They like to kill me.
Yeah, but he tried to kill you. That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't his fault. He just wanted to get out too. You know how it is with swimmers when you're out swimming and somebody's drowning.
Was he flying? Was he flying and landed on the tube?
In the water already.
Oh, and then he was trying to save himself, and you just overreacted basically. So.
Well, I guess so.
And I didn't overreact
at all. You underreacted.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now I know how Trump feels when he looks at his security people now.
Speaking of which.
Fucking useless.
Speaking of which, what else? There's new.
Yo, wow. Crazy stuff coming out now. This is what we were just watching. Redacted with Clayton Morris and his wife. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name right now. But they're like our go-to news people.
One of them.
Well, yeah, whatever.
I like them because they're real calm and the way they talk.
Unlike us.
Yeah.
But
supposedly there's a lot of talk about there was a second shooter that they're investigating. There's people at the rally that said they heard shots coming from the direction of the water tower. Somewhere behind there's a gymnasium. I mean, there's a lot of things. A lot of things coming out. A lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously knew that the whole story was corrupted from the beginning, but now Mayorkas is protecting that Cheadle woman, the head of the Secret Service,
Kimberly.
She's not going to have to testify in front of Congress. Not going to have to answer any questions.
Wait, they subpoenaed her. How do you get out a subpoena? Like, that's like if they subpoena Trump, can't he just, like...
That's the deep state, baby.
Can't, I don't know, anybody else say, no, you know what, I'm not going to come, I'm going to send fucking,
As long as you're on the correct side. I won't say right side because it's the opposite.
Well, it's apparent that they don't feel that she would do well in front of Congress, especially for what she said during that interview about the buck stops here, and when was asked why weren't any security guards on that particular building, she said, well, it was kind of slopey. A little slopey. I was worried about... It's a little... Meanwhile, there's all kinds of memes going around with cows on top of slope roofs, and you got... and the security guards were on roofs. The security guards, the Secret Service were on roofs that were way more slanted, sloped. So that was just something stupid she said because
but that's
she's.
How Mayorkas figures I can't have this woman up in front of Congress. She's just going to say the stupid.
That's what he puts at a diversity hire, right?
Yep, yeah. Make it even worse. And he knows how to lie. He's an expert at it. He won't even flinch. So
yeah, and then there's reports that that he was seen an hour before, walking around right outside
the shooter,
the rally. Yeah,
he's milling around, casing the place. Obviously, it couldn't be more obvious.
Yeah. And I got the video right here. Let's take a quick look at it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
come on.
It's ridiculous.
He's right there.
If I saw that guy outside my house walking around like that, I'd call the cops.
Especially everybody's in red and blue, and this guy's in a dark gray and black. He stood out. The contrast was ridiculous. But and then they also saw him supposedly. Yeah, and he had a rangefinder on him, which is
that's normal to carry around.
And there's different reports that. There was a ladder up against the building. Like, how didn't anybody see this kid milling around for an hour, going up the ladder? And then I hear there's a story saying he never went up the ladder, that he used some air conditioner close by. Like, who knows that? I mean, so you're telling me...
Nobody saw him. How does somebody know that?
He used this is what I'm saying. It's all full of holes. And then you see, of course, we saw the famous video was 2.5 minutes beforehand, all the... rally goers screaming, "Here he is on the roof with a gun," and he's not even like being stealth about it. He's like flopping around like a fucking pancake. And it's a tin roof. You ever try to
walk noise.
The noise. And how did they not see him? And now, then he supposedly bought how many rounds? Was it 50 or 500 rounds? I don't want to make the mistake. An hour or so earlier.
But now it's come out that he had a van full of explosives.
Well, a van was found 10 miles
away.
Yeah, I got to look into them.
I don't know. I guess it was his van, though, they say.
But why are you going to park 10 miles away and walk?
I don't know. All I know for sure is that was supposed to be a hell of a lot worse than it was. That was the plan. And he had a detonator with him.
That guy could have came on a fucking pogo stick and nobody would have said anything.
I don't understand it. There's no excuse.
Well, first of all, and there have been all kinds of experts, kind of like Navy SEALs, snipers, people in the business, that said, look, man, just looking at the map of that layout, the one thing that stands out the most of those buildings, there should have been people up on top, and they're saying that they're, she's also the police sheriff of Butler, right?
I didn't hear.
No, I'm saying, but there were police that had that perimeter, or there was Secret Service inside the building, which I don't know what that helps. Well,
there was Secret Service inside
or
the building
security,
that he was
or police,
on top of,
or police officers were in the building.
Kidding me?
Which I don't know what that does. And then we got the cop that they say climbed up the ladder.
Oh, yeah.
He climbed up the ladder, was face to face. This is 2.5 minutes beforehand. Before, this probably at the same time when probably happened when the people were screaming that there was somebody up on the roof. And this cop went climbing up the ladder, was face to face with the kid. The kid pointed the gun at him, and he didn't just retreat by climbing down the ladder. He fell down the ladder. So that goes to show you what kind of hero he was.
But now he's being called a hero because he delayed the guy from shooting.
Yeah, basically,
for some reason that makes him a hero.
Yeah, because of the time stamp. It's like if he didn't, they didn't meet eyes, Trump may not have turned his head.
Oh, that's reaching, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty reaching. So he's the sheriff of Butler County is calling him a hero because of the time that he stepped in, kind of prevented a better shot or whatever else. Just the way, I don't know. Also, Donald Jr. said that the time he did turn his head, he was pointing towards the screen. I forget what he was showing. He was explaining to everyone something. but he wasn't supposed to do that until later on, the end of it, and for some reason
he just decided
to do it then, and that made him turn his head, which,
the whole thing is just crazy. But then I've seen things saying that Blackrock owned the building that guy went on.
That was it that one or the gymnasium? I'm not sure.
Oh, am I wrong? Okay. Well, we'll come back to that one when we know the truth
of the
situation.
Blackrock. What the fuck is that?
Blackrock. What were you telling me about shorting stock? And Truth Social?
Yeah, I mean, hold on, I'll put it up. Yeah, maybe you should read it. You're a way better reader than I am.
Okay.
But basically, here's what somebody shared. I don't know the whole article, but that's part of the article. It's kind of like the same things we heard about back in the time around 9/11 and the October 7th attacks.
Okay, so I'm not sure who posted this, but it says short positions against Truth Social stock doubled between July 1st and July 12th, going from 7 to 15 million shares. A similar occurrence was observed on September 11th, 2001, when substantial bets were placed against the stocks of major airlines, American Airlines and United Airlines, the day before the attacks. Something similar also happened before the terrorist attacks in Israel on October 7, 2023, when bets against the value of Israeli companies spiked in the days prior, suggesting some traders may have had advanced knowledge of the looming terror attack and profited from it. They anticipated that Trump would be dead by Monday morning and tried to profit from that scenario. Follow the money. And we all know who owns everything in the stock market. Blackrock. Well, basically, that's what
they play. They play the market. It's not just about buying cans of beans, oil, and all that. It's also what goes on around the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like back with the 9/11 thing, the short option positions. But so, in other words, somebody knew to sell their stocks with American Airlines because they just somehow knew that the stocks would drop after 9/11.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
It's all a fucking game to them, man. It's all a game.
Well, I'll go on the record, totally believe this kid was involved, but it's just almost like another Lee Harvey Oswald. Mm-hmm. They need a patsy. They need a blunderer.
It's the same thing every fucking time.
They needed somebody to show.
Did you cut yourself?
I guess so.
On what? Johnny's over here bleeding.
I had a cut there already. I must have banged the corner of the table or something. I'm all right. Is that a napkin? Yeah. All right.
I probably blew my nose.
See how you came to my rescue? Thank you.
That's all you. I'm solid as a rock, baby. I'm here for you. And I wish it was the other way around.
It's a good thing it was your old phone that you had in the pool.
Yeah, I think that thing's going to still work.
Probably.
6-year-old phone.
Yeah. So, like I said, this kid was a patsy. I don't even think he got his shot off. But, then they're saying there's all kinds of... The lady that was sitting behind Trump who saw the guy that died.
Yeah.
She saw it all happen. Said that she heard shots coming from towards the water tower and stuff like that. So, but my question is, 1 shooter, 2 shooters, 3 shooters, they all suck. I mean, let's not say we shouldn't say that because somebody was killed. Yeah. But I'm just talking about their main target.
They weren't for him.
They weren't going there to aim for anybody else but Trump. So I almost feel like it was this kid. Somehow they let it happen. They let it happen. I don't know if it has anything to do with the Blackrock when he was in that small little commercial that they did take off YouTube. Mm-hmm. But luckily, a lot of people probably out of what they say out of respect, but basically. A lot of people captured it, but what was happening back then, and were they really kind of scoping the classroom for the the little Asperger guy? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And
they always find them.
And why is this kid have that? They also supposedly found explosive material in his house.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't know if there was like it's a situation like, hey, we see you don't like Trump,
Mm-hmm.
How would you like the opportunity to take that man out? You know what I mean?
Like that video. Do you have that video where he was screaming?
Yeah.
Kill all fascists.
I'll show it. I'll show it right now. Check this out.
Yeah.
Every fucking Republican! Suck my fucking balls!
Say that one more time.
Republican throats! Slash fascist throats! Get the fashion!
Just a belligerent, like, mental case.
I mean, it's so obvious that somebody has been talking to that kid.
But
they don't just... Where would that 20-year-old kid get that kind of violent hatred?
See, when we were growing up, right? When we were growing up, we all had angst. We all, you know what I mean? We all had this. I mean, I know when I was a kid, I never, what the fuck, Asperger's? What is that? Asperger's.
I don't know. You probably have it.
Yeah.
I think I have a little bit.
No, I don't think so. I mean, these kids today, the last 10, 20 years, I mean, everybody's depressed. Everyone's suicidal.
That has to do with the vaccines. We didn't get as many vaccines as these kids have to get.
The medication that you're giving, you know what I mean? I mean, you go when we were kids, and I mean, I had an issue with school, and I had like a little bit of depression, but nobody ever gave me a pill. You know what I mean? I didn't take
hell
a pill.
No.
But they get these kids all medicated, and then they fuel their minds with all this hatred, and what they teach in schools, all the Marxist fucking lessons.
Yeah.
And they can't handle it. They can't. You see people
late night TV everywhere you look. It's all virulent hatred against Trump on in the fucking music. The music world, and it's just entertainment.
It's the person who you are, the person and how you handle the situation. Like I said, there's many people that hate Trump, but they would never think about doing anything like this. Mm-hmm. But then you have these outcasts, these psychos, and they're always being bullied on. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what they beat on the weak. Listen, if you want to fucking guide somebody, play him. You always go for the weak-minded, the one. So, I mean,
yeah, it's just sad all the way around. But
there was just too many coincidences. I don't know, what so many people saw him, and called out. Now, even this guy, he's the sheriff says that he was a hero for kind of like meddling in the guy's concentration. But what about a radio? You have the radio,
right?
There's a shooter on the roof,
right?
Now you go and just even if it's a minute, man, it takes a second to go get Trump off the stage. That's all he had to do.
Yeah.
Whatever you had to do, get on your radio, or maybe you couldn't use a radio because you fucking fell off the ladder and broke it. Shoot a fucking bullet up in the air, where that'll put all the Secret Service in motion.
A bullet in the person who is aiming a gun.
As soon as he saw that motherfucker, he should have shot him. No questions asked.
That's his job. I don't care how scared he was. It should have been his first reaction.
And that's what happens when you hire people. I mean, there's a lot of people that have no right being police officers. There's a lot of people that have no right being Secret Service, and we've seen that.
That was obvious. Oh my God, this set the women's movement back so far. This bumbling idiot.
There was one female cop that helped Trump off stage. He had her arm around her.
Yeah, and he towered over her. What good was that? How much did she help him?
Well,
he was helping her. He was protecting her. It's ridiculous.
The same way that woman couldn't get the gun out of her holster. In her holster, she could have had a problem getting it out. I think.
Oh, for sure, of course. I'm sorry. I'm all for. I'm a woman. I'm all for women being able to do whatever they want. Yada yada. But there is just a physical reason why men should be in certain positions in this world. Let's just face it. It's biology. Trump should have guys bigger than him, and that's all there is to it. And most of them aren't even as big as him, So what is the frickin' point? If they can't get their guns out of their holsters and they're shorter than him. They're just in the fucking way. He saved himself. Everybody says, "Oh, Trump fell." Trump ducked. Trump went down on his own. He ducked. He didn't fall. Nobody threw themselves on him to protect him.
One of the first headlines from.
That's why he's alive right now, because he's got the reflexes of a fucking cat. You can make fun of him all you want, but he's an athlete. He's been an athlete his whole life. Thank God.
Yeah. Well, and then you had all these TikTokers and people on social media screaming and crying why, that they missed. You had
so disgusting.
Yeah, had one lady praising the shooter for at least trying.
Wow,
yeah, some yoga instructor right here in Charlotte, in Florida. She's getting fucking destroyed though. That's a good thing.
Good.
But there's also you got the scumbags on Twitter. The Rob Reiners and the Mark Hamill and the George. What's his name?
Awful. Clooney?
No, the Chinese, the Asian.
Takai?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, they'd show themselves to be the garbage human beings that they are. That's all. And
then I'll tell you one thing. I was watching Piers Morgan yesterday. I don't know why I watch these things.
I
just get so fucking.
I can't tolerate it.
But he had he had Cenk from Young Turks. He had David Rubin, some other guests, and then had that moron Destiny, the left wing. I don't know what he is. But he was on there belligerent. He refused to. He refused to say that he's glad that Trump is okay.
Wow.
And that he kind of had it coming to him and stuff like that. Wow. And although he doesn't, agree with, killing somebody. Oh, and he also, what he really got burned for was the firefighter that was killed was kind of like his stance on it. Well, he's a supporter of Trump, so
wow.
And he was
these people are sick.
He was really fucking livid. Wait, I want to cut that.
What goes around comes around.
Yeah. And I don't know what else is going on in the world, really, but we just wanted to jump on, talk about a few things. I'll tell
you what, you were editing the last video when I was watching it, but when Trump walked out, when he went to the RNC Monday night, when he came out, and they showed him backstage walking out, he got like emotional, he got cry face.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it killed me. I'm glad you weren't in there because I started to cry myself. This was just so. I don't understand.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
How strong that guy is. You wouldn't see me for 2 months after that. And there he is, just.
Oh, yeah, and now the left is trying to, censor his whole fist pump and stuff, saying.
Oh, shame on them. Just because they're all such pussies, not a single one of them would ever be able to come up like that and be that strong.
That was pretty amazing. That's going to go. Oh yeah, the famous iconic picture taken of him with his fist in the air with the American flag behind it. They're trying to get that taken down because it helps his cause.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But they just feel that it incites violence. Could you believe that?
They are so ballsy. I gotta give them that. They try to kill a guy and then they complain that. He's violent because he fights back. I've never seen a group of people who are so mentally twisted and evil. I mean, the cojones on these people.
And if it was anybody, which say if anybody like Biden or Obama, they would be praising him for it.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Although they would never do that. You know what I mean?
No,
like I said. You could throw a shoe at Biden and take him out. You know what I mean?
And by the way, reminding me, I gotta plug it. It was so great. The best episode of Kill Tony in the history of time, Monday night. Adam Ray and
Shane
Shane
Gillis.
came on as Biden and Trump, and they were hilarious. Please look it up and watch it. I laughed for 2 hours straight.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh, it was a beautiful thing. But I guess you want to probably wrap it up here.
Yeah, I got things to do.
Okay, well, we're just about 30 minutes. This was
good.
our goal. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Push us around. We could use a little moral support, but
thank you. Else? Thanks for listening. No, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
Peace out, everyone.